I'm Nikki Woods, and welcome to the Level Up Podcast. This is where smart, successful, intuitive women like you get to enjoy candid conversations that I share with leading experts, celebrities, and influencers. They are here to help you and me transform in every area of our lives. We're going to learn, laugh, maybe cry, but definitely grow together. So whether it's health, wealth, healing, relationships, or any other uplifting topic, Level Up is laser focused on you leading your best life on your terms and inspiring other powerful women to do the same. So, are you ready to level up? All right, let's do it. Welcome to Level Up. I'm your host, Nikki Woods. Today, we're going to talk about one of the biggest ways that you can level up as a parent, and it's simply by being present. I'm really excited about this conversation, but I'm also a little bit anxious. Anxious because I'm going to completely tell on myself. Excited because having this conversation, and I wish somebody had this conversation when my kids were a lot younger, but I think when you have conversations about how you can build your life on your terms, even when it comes to your family, that it gives you permission to parent or to live in a way that works best for your family and not necessarily what's working for everybody else. And I wish I had that, because I think I spent a lot of time worrying that I was being a bad mother. I have two sons, 19 and 18, and thank goodness they're amazing. But looking back, I realized how very unpresent I was when they were growing up. So I was a single parent, extremely demanding job as the executive producer of the Tom Joyner Morning Show. And, radio and TV, it can be a 24/7 thing. If something happens in the middle of the night and it's newsworthy or it's something that we need to cover, then we're on it. But of course, that throws a little bit of balance out of the window when you're raising children. And I, like, as I said, I was a single parent. So if you were at your son's baseball game and you happened to be in Dallas, Texas, and there was some woman, furiously typing on her computer, it was probably me. But one day I think I woke up and I realized that it was really bad. And I was exhausted trying to do everything and be everything to everyone. And being a mother, it just brings me immense joy, as I'm sure it does to everybody as a parent. But it became just almost a chore, an overwhelming chore that I just could not keep up with. So it was more to me than just the natural demands of motherhood. I mean, I was distracted. I was disengaged. Just so much was going on. And I realized that I was more engaged maybe in other things than I actually was with my family. And probably because my children, like I said, they're amazing. So they didn't give me a lot of trouble. There wasn't a lot of noise. There was no squeaky wheel syndrome. So I really wasn't focused on any problems because there were none. But obviously children need their parents. So, that issue still remains. But this aha moment led me to make some really small changes in order to be more present, that led to some huge transformations and eventually led me to a very big decision. And that was to resign from my, as my daddy says, good job. So, and I'm not suggesting anybody resign from their job, but I will share some of the things that I did to begin incorporating presence into our family schedule. And the first thing is take care of yourself. So not only was I neglectful of my children, I was neglectful of me. So I started incorporating daily, and it didn't have to be a lot. Maybe it was a 5-minute walk or some meditation time, or taking a nap before the kids got home from school so that I could be focused on them. But it was really taking care of me. The other thing was making sure that when we were having conversations, for at least part of it, I mean, I'm not saying that I was like focused on my kids 24/7, but I wanted to have a conversation about how their day went, how school was going, did anything happen? And I wanted to do it with a computer away, phone away, and it was just all of us focused. And that made a big difference too, not just in me receiving the information, but them feeling as if they were heard and invested in. The other thing is just, especially if you have more than one kid, is to spend each time, time with each child individually. Because, and as a group, as a family, but also to give each child individual attention. We know how different children can be, even in the same family. And sometimes spending time with them, doing what they like one-on-one, just gives them this boost of self-confidence and just realizes how valuable they are to you. The other thing is to adjust your agenda. Like, what is your priority and what is first? I mean, I know that we have to support our family. I was the one that was paying the bills and doing all that. So I had to work. But I also realized that I was letting other people set my agenda for me. And I was not prioritizing the way that I normally would. And so you definitely have to look at like who's setting your agenda and are there ways that you can work family into your schedule without losing connection with anything. And I think that, the time that we're in has shown us that it can be done. There are alternative ways to work. There's just so many different scenarios. And so I just encourage you to be open and to think that through before you just say, okay, to what somebody hands you. Now, I would love to hear how you feel about being present as a parent. You can email me at info@levelupwithnikkywoods.com, or you can connect with me on Facebook at The Nikki Woods, or on Twitter and Instagram at Nikki Woods. Now, for the conversation today, I had a chance to sit down with a mother and son duo. Well, actually, it's a whole family package, but I got the mother and one of the sons. And they're going to talk about how their family maintains balance despite 9-year-old Treandos having started two businesses. Started two businesses. I hope you'll be inspired and motivated while listening to this edition of Level Up. I have a mother and son duo. Third grader Treandos Thornton leads the popular bow tie business TNN Bow Ties and Apparel. The online bow tie boutique offers stylish neckwear that encourages confidence for individuals of all ages. The kid-operated business recently celebrated 4 years in business. 9-year-old Treandos is the founder and CEO of TNN Bow Ties and Apparel. His younger brother, Noah, is the president of the family organization. Treandos believes that style can have a purpose, which can help boost the confidence of young men and women throughout all communities. Now, Treandos is on a mission to help people in various ways. He successfully led a regional community holiday food drive, which collected thousands of canned goods for a family throughout the nation. He was also recognized with his very own official day. He has been featured in the world news and on countless media outlets. The young entrepreneur aspires to be both a cardiac surgeon and a roller coaster engineer in the future. His mom is with us, and we are so excited. Thank you so much for joining us.
Excited to be here. Thank you, Nikki, for having us.
No, I'm just trying to figure out the cardiac surgeon and the roller coaster engineer and how we gonna work all that out. That's a lot of schooling. And you're running a business. Like, what are we gonna do?
Yeah, and I plan to add some more businesses too.
Yeah, you're gonna be the business collector.
Okay.
Tell me how this came about. Like, so how did you were sitting at home, you were like 3, and you thought bow ties?
Yeah, so what inspired me was my dad. He was putting on bow ties in his room. So I really liked the bow ties. So I went downstairs to ask my mom if I can start a business, and she said yes. So it's really just been like that was the beginning.
Okay, but that's not a usual beginning for people, even adults. So you like something, you say, "Can I have it for Christmas?" And then you get it, and then it goes away. But you already thought, "I want to be a businessman?"
Yes, actually.
Mom, how did you react when we said we're starting a bow tie business?
Well, it was astonishing, Nikki. To be quite honest with you, because kids will say a lot of things, right? We all know that. And one day they'll want to be the bus and then the bus driver. But he was very persistent at 5 years old. He was like, "How do we do it? I want you to research. I want you to show me." And he wanted to be hands-on with it. And after the third time, I said to myself, this kid is being serious about it. And the least I can do as his mom is encourage that. So I went along a journey, learning a lot with him as well. As he mentioned, the bow tie, the love of it came from dad. And then the business side, he sort of finessed his own way with it, and he put his own brand on it, and he wanted the name to be he and his brother, who was a baby, young at that time, who's now the president. So, and ever since then, it's taken off, and it has been such a blessing, Nikki, from just the support of people we know and people we don't necessarily know. I think it's pretty neat that here you have now a third grader and his a kindergarten brother, again, company president, loving bow ties, but it's beyond just neckwear.
And today, and since 3 years or 4 years ago, we have added more things like neckties, cufflinks for men and women's scarves, and we also have a book like t-shirts and sweatshirts, and we also have masks.
Yeah,
now, that was smart.
Yeah, it's grown. It's adjusted with everything going on in the world, the mask for COVID-19. And it's more than neckwear, as you can see, but it's about confidence and building confidence in people everywhere. But it is an important message for young men of color, Nikki, to really be exposed to critical life skills. And one of the things that T&M Bow Ties and Apparel believes that regardless of your zip code, you should have opportunity to be exposed and be educated. And so it's a bigger mission. And Treandos and his brother have a YouTube page where they are showing, and Treandos is leading that way, showing others, adults and kids alike, how to actually tie a self-tie.
That was my next question, because nobody knows how to tie just a regular tie. Very few people now, very few men, but a bow tie is even more difficult.
I know how to actually make like a bow tie like this. This isn't a real one. This is wooden, but I know actually how to tie one into this shape.
That is very impressive. And you know what? I don't even know if it really has anything to do with the zip code, because I agree that there are people who are not exposed to it. But it's like, I have 2 boys, and I think about my sons. You know, I was a single mother for a lot of their lives. And, so there was nobody, I certainly don't know how to tie a bow tie. There was nobody, that could show them these things. Yeah. But you're right. I tell people all the time. My dad used to wear a suit every day, and it just says something when he walks in a room. And so when you see a man in a bow tie, no less, walk into a room, it just says something.
It's certainly dressing for success. And it's the bow ties, how to tie it, how to tie a traditional necktie. But it's also about shaking hands. Before COVID, of course, living in that world before, but giving a firm handshake is something he and his brother have done at the expos that they have had the opportunity to do when they're out and about at the pop-up shops as well. And that's been something really cool. And we did want to mention later this month of May, they are doing a free national kids business expo where they're going to be world-class speakers and panelists there that are going to be sharing some perks. And it's called a Kids Business Expo, Nikki, because the founder and CEO wouldn't let us do anything different and change the name. But I will say this as a mom who's beyond kid years, myself, I'm looking forward to being inspired by all of the featured guests and speakers. So it's open to everybody, grandparents, godmoms. If you're just a community member and you don't have any kids in your life at all, we're so well open to you joining us for this important topic. And it's focusing on certainly building young men of greatness. But females are welcome to. I'm a mom and I'm excited about it, but we just really wanted to put the focus and highlight of young men of color and really just claiming and reclaiming, whatever you want to say, the greatness of it, and just continuing to build all of our children. And this focuses on our young boys.
No, absolutely. The 100th anniversary of Black Wall Street is coming up. And so there's been just a lot of talk about how in the African-American community, we've lost so much control over having our own businesses and having all of these things that just stayed in the community. So I know growing up, I didn't really know anybody that owned a business. So it was really nothing that anything that I thought about. And so when I got older, I was like, you think about all the things that you could have done with all of the interest. And so I'm just so proud of you for encouraging and supporting and just going full throttle, because so many parents will be like, you just need to go sit on the couch and do your homework. And we'll talk about this when you're 21. So I'm just really proud of you for doing that. And I think about how that's going to shape our future. Like I'm okay now that I know that we have TL out here about to run some things when I'm getting older, So that's good. So what would you say to other moms who would say, I've been at work all day, I got to cook dinner, I'm not starting a business with a 6-year-old?
I get all of that and some, certainly. And I would it goes back to what you just said, Nikki. I mean, just think back to when years, many, many years ago, for a lot of us, if we were that 5-year-old kid or that 10-year-old kid or that 15-year-old teenager, we just wanted somebody to listen, right? And we want that now at 35, 45, 65. And kids are so vulnerable. And you know this as a mother, that so much of who they are is built or even believed in by mom and dad or the village or grandparents or aunts or whoever it is. And if the world is so busy and we're so into a rat race and what we're doing, and I know we're exhausted as working moms. I get it, because I'm a real life practical person that works too. I don't, all my time is not managing he and his brother's business, but we have to take the time to really pour into their future, because that's what it's about. It is. And so many moms and dads are already bought into, well, I'll take them to basketball, I'll take them to track. And those things matter. Do not get me wrong. I mean, whatever your child interests, you build on it. But I think we do need to start talking more about entrepreneurship. And that's not necessarily saying that, well, in 20 years, they're going to open up their own financial firm. But even if they're working for someone else, it's the lessons that's learned. And I will say, from watching he and his brother, it's the C word of confidence that is being built daily from it, and it's independence. And I happen to believe it helps critical thinking skills. You're thinking outside of the box. You're making your own way, in addition to school, which is so important. He's tell you this, it's his number one job, academics. But what do you do with the academics in school, right? You're learning multiplications, you're going through division, word problems, but how does it relate to your real world? Well, it does if you've got your own hat business or bow tie business like he does, or whatever you're doing. So it really makes that link where kids really feel like, okay, this has a purpose, right? And it's not just, I got an A on that test, I got a C on that test. What does it mean?
I think that is such a great point. Sir, can we talk business for just a second?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good. Can you tell me, like, what is the most challenging thing that you have run into as a business owner?
That would really be hard to say. Well,
so maybe it's not hard. Maybe it's the biggest thing you've learned, or maybe it's the most exciting thing.
So since COVID, we've actually just changed to just online because of COVID, and we stopped like the festival, like the pop-up shops and everything with COVID. And now we're just online, and I plan to also open up an art business. My mom actually just took pictures of the art, but plan to open an art business, like lots of businesses. But yeah, the biggest like change we've done is with COVID-19 and switching to just online.
Going online.
It also helped us some, so we get to like upgrade our website.
Yeah, no, that's very smart. I know a lot of business owners, myself included, who took some downtime to reevaluate and pivot and maybe, work on some areas that we weren't so great in before. Some of us had to go back to school too. So what would you say to somebody that's your age or younger, if they have an idea and they want to start a business? What is the first thing you would advise them to do?
I would say keep pushing and don't let anybody hold you back.
Oh my gosh, I could just eat you up. You're too good. Too good. And so with school, I mean, what do your fellow classmates think of the business mogul that's eating lunch with them in the cafeteria?
Actually, I do online. I mean, because of
COVID. So you're still home. Yeah, mine are too. So you're still homeschooled. Okay.
Yeah, and some of my like friends that I called that I like, they know that I have a business, but some of them don't. I've told my teacher about like I've been on the news and everything and Rachel Ray, but like some of my classmates don't know.
Well, I think that you are an absolute gem, and I am really proud of you for not just doing what everybody else is doing, because that takes a lot of courage to do something different. So I am really proud of you.
Thank you.
You are welcome. And so tell us how we can find you online, since now you guys are there and thriving. We want everybody all over the world to buy bow ties from you guys. So where can we find you? You can find me at www.tnbowties.com. So it's tnbowties.com. Yes, the T, and there's no spaces unless you type in the bow tie, by the way. But like it says T, and then it's like that little
like little, like you press shift and then 7, like above on your computer. And then you put in, and then you space, and then put bow ties. And then you put .com.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And on social, are you the same? So we can just search, we can Google, you are Googleable, right? We can Google you.
Yes, you can Google my name, Treandos Thornton, and I'll pop up.
I always used to, people would ask me like, who are you? What do you do? I'd be, oh, just Google me. And my kids said, stop it. But don't you stop it, because you worked hard to be found in Google. So you tell people just to Google you so that they can learn how great you are. Did you want to leave any inspiring words, both of you?
Like what I said earlier, I said, keep pushing. Don't let anybody hold you back.
I love it. No, it was worth saying twice. What about you, Mom?
And I would just say, for the moms out there, working moms, working dads, single, partnered, or married, I would say wherever you are in life, I'm inspired daily by my 9-year-old and 6-year-old. And I would say, look for inspiration anywhere. And if you can see that a 9-year-old kid can do it, any of us can do it. And obviously he proves it doesn't matter how young you are, but I also think Ernestine Shepherd proves it doesn't matter how old you are. Make the most of it, and carpe diem, seize the moment and live it up.
Yeah. And one thing I would say, because I certainly agree with you, I think we get like overwhelmed by life, and it's so busy, and we're so just busy trying to get to the next thing, that a lot of times we're just not present with our children. And I know I missed out on some things, and I wish, there's some things I would go back and change. Luckily, they're not in jail or anything, so we will just keep pushing. But do stay present. And I think you're a perfect example of that. And so that's wonderful to see. So we'll have to have you back when you make your first billion. Will you agree?
Yes. Last year we made over $20,000 in sales.
Well, you're closer than a lot of people. So you keep pushing, right? And don't let anybody tell you to stop.
Thank you.
I just quoted you to you. Yeah. All right. Thank you guys so much. We really appreciate you. We will definitely share it out, and we will continue to tell people about the Business Expo for Kids. So we really appreciate you.
Thank you. We appreciate that. Thank you, Nikki. We love your platform.
Thank you. I love you guys too. All right. Well, I hope you found something in there that is going to help you in your relationship with your children, help you be more present, help you support them, and realize how instrumental. I mean, I think even as parents, we forget how instrumental we are in being role models for our children. And if we don't take the time to take care of ourselves and pour into the people that we love, what are they going to role model? Just a question. I'm Nikki Woods, and I'm inviting you now to subscribe, rate us on Apple Podcasts. You can also find us on Google Play, Spotify, Stitcher, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. You can connect with me at The Nikki Woods on social media. That's Facebook. You can also find me on Instagram and Twitter at Nikki Woods. And then the website, levelupwithnikkywoods.com. I have a free gift there waiting just for you. I thank you for listening, and I will see you next time.